Imagine a world where deep, open-ended questions could shift societal perceptions, challenge long-held prejudices, and spark transformative change. What if the path to justice wasn't just about marching in the streets, signing petitions, or lobbying lawmakers, but about asking the right questions to truly understand the underlying causes of injustice? What if, instead of simply condemning inequality, we began by questioning it, probing its roots, and challenging the assumptions that perpetuate it? This is where Socratic questioning, an ancient technique rooted in critical thinking and deep reflection, can play a pivotal role in advancing social justice causes. Racial inequality, gender discrimination, and climate change are not just issues of policy or activism. They are profound moral challenges that require a rethinking of the structures, beliefs, and attitudes that allow such injustices to persist. By employing Socratic questioning, individuals and movements can move beyond surface-level debates to engage in thoughtful, nuanced conversations that have the potential to catalyze meaningful change. In this essay, we'll explore how the technique of Socratic questioning can be used to encourage deeper reflection on some of the most pressing social justice issues of our time: racial inequality, gender discrimination, and climate change. Through this method of inquiry, we can foster more inclusive dialogues, dismantle harmful ideologies, and work toward a more just and equitable society. Before we dive into the powerful intersection of Socratic questioning and social justice, let me take a moment to welcome you to the unfolding journey. Here, we explore the big ideas, challenge conventional wisdom, and engage in thoughtful discussions about philosophy, ethics, and personal growth. Whether you're passionate about social justice or simply curious about the world around you, our channel offers a space to think critically and engage deeply with important issues. Today's conversation is particularly exciting because we're exploring how ancient philosophical techniques can influence modern social movements and shape the future. So, if you're ready to explore how questioning assumptions can be a force for good in the world, sit back, relax, and let's embark on this journey together. If you enjoy the discussion, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay connected with all our future explorations. Before delving into how Socratic questioning can aid social justice causes, it's important to understand what it is. Socratic questioning is a technique used by the Greek philosopher Socrates to encourage critical thinking through dialogue. Instead of giving answers, Socrates would ask a series of probing questions to challenge assumptions, clarify concepts, and prompt deeper reflection. The aim was not simply to find the right answer, but to stimulate thought and help individuals reach a more profound understanding of a subject. Socratic questioning is based on several key principles. Clarification, asking for definitions or explanations to clarify the meaning behind a concept. Assumption questioning, challenging the assumptions behind beliefs or actions. Perspective taking, encouraging individuals to see things from different viewpoints. Implications and consequences, exploring the potential outcomes and broader implications of a belief or action. Now, let's explore how this questioning technique can be applied to social justice causes like racial inequality, gender discrimination, and climate change. Racial inequality and Socratic questioning. Racial inequality remains one of the most persistent and deeply ingrained social injustices. From systemic racism to unconscious bias, the roots of racial inequality are often hidden beneath layers of historical, cultural, and institutional forces. Socratic questioning offers a way to critically examine these forces and challenge the assumptions that allow racial injustice to persist. Clarifying assumptions about race. A starting point for Socratic questioning and discussions about racial inequality might involve clarifying what we mean by race and racism. For example, one might ask, what do we mean when we say someone is racially privileged or racially disadvantaged? What are the historical roots of racism, and how have they shaped society today? These questions encourage people to think beyond surface-level understandings of race and explore how historical processes like colonization, slavery, and segregation have structured power and privilege across generations. Questioning the justifications for racial inequality. A powerful aspect of Socratic questioning is its ability to challenge assumptions and reveal contradictions. For instance, one might ask, why is it that people of different races experience drastically different outcomes in education, employment, and criminal justice? Is it possible that the structures in place are not neutral, but are systematically designed to favor one group over another? These types of questions force individuals to examine the social, economic, and political systems that perpetuate inequality, and to confront uncomfortable truths about how power dynamics shape society. Encouraging empathy and perspective-taking. Socratic questioning also encourages individuals to step into the shoes of those who experience racial inequality. Questions like, how would you feel if you were constantly treated with suspicion or had fewer opportunities because of your skin color? What would it take for you to see the world from the perspective of someone who faces daily discrimination? Such questions foster empathy and understanding, making it harder for individuals to ignore or downplay the lived experiences of marginalized communities. Gender discrimination and Socratic questioning. Gender discrimination is another pervasive issue that has been entrenched in societal norms and institutions. Socratic questioning can help break down rigid gender roles, challenge stereotypes, and prompt a more critical examination of the forces that sustain gender inequality. Clarifying gender assumptions. To begin challenging gender discrimination, Socratic questioning can be used to clarify the definitions and assumptions around gender. For example, what do we mean when we say masculine or feminine? Where do these ideas come from? Why do we assume that certain traits, like strength or emotion, are inherently linked to one gender? These questions can lead to a deeper understanding of how gender roles are socially constructed rather than biologically determined. Questioning the legitimacy of gender norms. Socratic questioning can also help us explore the legitimacy of the social norms that govern gender. For example, why do we continue to expect women to take on the majority of caregiving roles? What are the consequences for society when women are paid less for the same work? Is it fair that men are discouraged from expressing vulnerability or emotions? By critically examining these questions, individuals can begin to see how gender norms restrict personal freedom and perpetuate inequality. Exploring the impact of gender discrimination. Finally, Socratic questioning can help people reflect on the broader implications of gender discrimination. Questions like, what are the long-term consequences of a society that devalues women's labor and contributions? How does gender discrimination affect both men and women on an emotional, psychological, and societal level? These reflective questions challenge individuals to consider how deeply embedded gender inequalities affect the overall health and progress of society. Climate change and Socratic questioning. Climate change is perhaps the most urgent and global social justice issue we face today. It disproportionately affects marginalized communities and future generations. Socratic questioning can help shift the narrative around climate change, encouraging critical thinking and prompting action. Questioning the assumptions behind environmental policies. Socratic questioning can be used to interrogate the assumptions behind environmental policies. For instance, why do we prioritize economic growth over environmental sustainability? What assumptions are we making about the relationship between consumption and happiness? Who benefits from policies that degrade the environment and who suffers? These questions challenge the dominant economic paradigms and prompt individuals to consider alternative ways of living that prioritize ecological balance over profit. Investigating the ethics of environmental injustice. Climate change is not just an environmental issue. It is also an ethical issue. Socratic questioning can help us explore the ethical implications of climate change, particularly in relation to social justice. How is it fair that vulnerable populations in the global south are the most affected by climate change, despite contributing the least to its causes? What responsibility do wealthy nations have to reduce emissions and support climate adaptation efforts in poorer countries? Such questions encourage individuals to think about the moral dimensions of climate change and the role of equity in global environmental policy. Encouraging long-term thinking. One of the most important aspects of Socratic questioning in relation to climate change is the emphasis on the long-term consequences of current actions. What will the world look like in 50 or 100 years if we continue on the current path? What kind of world do we want to leave for future generations? These questions urge individuals to think beyond short-term gains and consider the future implications of their choices, fostering a sense of moral responsibility for the planet and its inhabitants. Socratic questioning is a powerful tool for advancing social justice causes, particularly when it comes to issues like racial inequality, gender discrimination, and climate change. By encouraging deep reflection, challenging assumptions, and fostering empathy, this method of inquiry can help individuals and societies confront the root causes of injustice and work toward meaningful change. In a world where surface-level discussions often fail to address the complexities of these issues, Socratic questioning offers a way forward. One that values critical thinking, open dialogue, and a commitment to truth and justice. As we continue to confront the pressing social challenges of our time, let us remember the words of Socrates. The unexamined life is not worth living. In the same way, the unexamined society is not worth striving for. Through thoughtful questioning, we can build a more just, equitable, and sustainable world. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into how Socratic questioning can advance social justice causes. If you found this video insightful, make sure to subscribe to The Unfolding Journey for more explorations into philosophy, ethics, and social justice. Don't forget to like, share, and comment below with your thoughts on how we can use critical thinking to make a positive impact in the world. Let's continue to ask the hard questions together. Until next time.